The 2025 regular season has ended, and now the playoffs have begun. We are now entering wildcard weekend, and there's a lot of great matchups in what should be a wide open playoff picture. You don't have any of the returning juggernauts like the Bengals, Chiefs, or Ravens. In the NFC, we have some returning teams like the Rams, the Eagles, and the Packers. But the Seahawks, they got the 1 seed, and they look really good. So there's a lot to get into in today's video. I'm going to pick this bracket right here, and I'm going to predict this year's Super Bowl champion, along with every other matchup this playoff season. Anyways, if you go on to enjoy this video, please leave a like and sub. It's greatly appreciated and lets me know you guys enjoy these videos. But let's get into the picks. Our first matchup we'll talk about is the Steelers versus Texans. Now, going into this, you'd say the Texans are clearly the better team. Well, yeah, they do have the better defense and probably the best defense in the AFC. But where this matchup gets interesting is the fact that the Texans don't really have that great of an offense, and the Steelers' defense has shown to be good at times, but not nearly as dominant as we've seen in years past. And the Steelers do get DK Metcalf back in this game. And it's clear when this offense has DK Metcalf, they perform significantly better because DK Metcalf is a real deep threat. And him and Aaron Rodgers have a great connection. Plus, the Steelers have 2 really good running backs in Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell. Plus, a boost to their defense is that they get TJ Watt back. They had him back last game, and he got an interception in that game, so it's clear he will have a big impact on this defense. This game will be close because the Texans have a really good defense and will likely shut down most of what the Steelers can do. But the Texans offense, I don't expect much either. I would be surprised if either of these teams score more than 20 points in this game. This is going to be a tough defensive battle, but I still favor the Texans anyway. So we'll go to our next AFC wildcard matchup, the Jaguars and Bills. This might be the best wildcard matchup of this week. The Jaguars are one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team coming into the playoffs. They are coming in at an 8-game winning streak where they are blowing teams out. They are winning games by an average of 19 points. 3 scores. Yes, they've played some bad teams, but teams they have blown out include the Chargers and the Broncos. Broncos was 2 scores, so it's not exactly a blowout, but that score is even deceiving because the Jaguars basically controlled that entire game. So the Jaguars are maybe one of the most dangerous teams in the AFC and probably the most complete. They have a great offense, great defense, and a great special teams. They only have to get to the 50 to make a field goal. That would be crucial in game-winning situations if they even need it. Meanwhile, the Bills, they have Josh Allen. This is one of Josh Allen's easiest schedules in terms of star quarterbacks. There's no Lamar, there's no Joe Burrow, there's no Mahomes. However, there's Trevor Lawrence and there's Drake May. So it's not like there's bad quarterbacks in here. Plus, maybe if Justin Herbert gets past the first round, they got to deal with them. But that's even if the Bills get past the first round because the Jaguars offense is the best one in the AFC, no doubt. And the Bills defense is not very good. On paper, the Bills passing defense is pretty good. However, the problem is it's because teams abuse their run defense. Their run defense is atrocious. And their pass defense isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Plus, they will be missing Hairston, their rookie, for this week as well. So that hurts their secondary even more. I expect the Jaguars to win this game. I think they match up great against the Bills. The Jaguars have a great offense and an elite run defense. And that's basically the Bills' main weapon on offense. Next, we will go to the Patriots and Chargers. This is also an intriguing matchup because the Chargers literally do not have an offensive line. All of them are hurt. And Justin Herbert is also hurt with a broken left hand. It's affected him in some ways. And the receivers, they're good, not great. So there's definitely problems with this offense, but they do get Amarian Hampton back. Problem is he doesn't have an offensive line to run behind. And the Chargers defense is also pretty good. Now they go up against an MVP candidate in Drake May. The Patriots roster on paper is not that amazing, but they've won 14 games, so that counts for something even if the opponents aren't exactly that strong. The Patriots are clearly a good team. We don't know how great they are yet, and this playoffs will determine that. It's an interesting pick, and I think it can be closer than people think, but I do expect the Patriots to win this game. Now let's go over to the NFC matchups. First, we'll start with the Panthers and Rams. Now, on paper, the Rams should easily blow out the Panthers, but games aren't played on paper. In fact, we've already seen this matchup before in this exact situation. The Rams going on the road to Carolina, and the Panthers won that game. Now, I don't know the exact forecast of the game, but the last time these two teams played, it was raining pretty hard. I don't think it'll be raining this weekend, so I expect the best of the Rams to show up, and they get Devontae Adams back this week. So it could be close because this season is weird, and honestly, it would be totally in par with this season if the Panthers just suddenly made a run for some reason. The Panthers can play teams tough, and they are coming off a loss, so it means they could win, but I still expect the Rams to win this game. Next up, we have the Eagles and 49ers. This is probably one of the hardest picks this week. The Eagles' defense is really good. Their offense is not, even though they have all the talent to be a good offense. We saw it in the playoffs last year, but this offense is not nearly the same, partially thanks to their offensive line not being fully healthy and not nearly as elite as it's previously been, and their offensive scheme not being all that good. Meanwhile, the 49ers, they are beat up everywhere, and they continue to drop starters on their defense. I just saw they had 3 more defensive injuries that will cause players to miss this game, and these are crucial defensive injuries too, including linebacker D. Winters. So it's a tough matchup, but the 49ers have CMC, and their offense has been really good. How much do I trust the Eagles' offense? Not much. I'm actually going to pick the 49ers here. Our next matchup is the Bears and Packers. This is their 3rd meeting of the season, and I believe this is like their 3rd or 4th time meeting in the playoffs. It's crazy. These two teams usually don't make the playoffs together. And it's an interesting lineup because the Packers, they are beat up everywhere, but they will likely be getting Jordan Love back for this week. So he's a good quarterback. That offense can be good with him, but this defense for the Packers worries me, especially their secondary. And Caleb Williams has shown massive flashes this year, and I think it could show up in this game. These two teams have met, and it was close games both times. Both of these teams know each other very well. This could go either way. Maybe the Packers find something because they're division rivals, so they know the Bears, or the Bears' offense can start fast, finally, and actually win this game against a battered Packers team. It's a tough pick, but I'm going to go with the Bears. The Packers are just too injured for me. Let's go back to the AFC for the divisional matchups. We'll start with the Broncos and Texans. This is a very interesting matchup. Both of these teams have very good defenses, probably 1 and 2 in the AFC, but offenses that you don't exactly trust. The Texans don't really score that many points, and the Broncos offense doesn't show up until the 4th quarter. If they even need to show up, that is, thanks to their defense. This is going to be a very tough matchup between both teams because it is tough to play in Mile High Stadium. With that altitude, if you're not used to it, it's tough to beat them, and the Broncos do not lose very often in their home stadium in the past 2 years. This is honestly a coin flip matchup. You could convince me to go either way in this matchup. I really don't know what to pick here, but I'm going to lean with the home team in the Broncos. I just think it'll be a little too much for the Texans, and I think this will be a very close, low-scoring game. The other divisional matchup, the Patriots and the Jaguars. The Patriots face another really good team. The Chargers, probably one of the weaker AFC playoff teams, but I think that matchup will still be close. Meanwhile, the Jaguars, I expect a very strong game from them against the Bills. So I think the Jaguars will be coming into Foxborough with all of the confidence. And Drake May, he's great. But with how this Jags defense has been playing, and Drake May doesn't play great against playoff teams. So I think the Jaguars will actually come out with the win in Foxborough. Let's move over to the NFC. The Seahawks versus 49ers. We just saw this game this week, and the Seahawks absolutely controlled the line of scrimmage. The 49ers could not do much of anything on offense because of how good the Seattle defense is. Plus, the Seattle offense has shown to be very good as well. They're not as consistent as maybe you'd like to see, but they also have very good games. They have a good running game. JSN is one of the best receivers this year, and they have plenty of good options. Cooper Kupp, solid veteran option, even though he's past his prime. And Rashid Shaheed, great returner as well. So I'm going to favor the Seahawks here. I just think the 49ers are a little bit too injured to hang around with the Seahawks this time around. And then we have the Bears versus the Rams. The Bears, great season so far, but I think against the Rams, despite them being on the road and Soldier Field being a tough place to play, I think the Rams can handle business there. I just think they're the better team, and the Bears defense is not that good, and I think they'll struggle to hang with this Rams offense. And now we're in the conference championships for both of the conferences. Both really good matchups and rematches from earlier on in the year. The Broncos and Jaguars, where the Jaguars stomped the Broncos at home, and the Seahawks and Rams. Division rivals that play each other very tough and provided us with some excellent games over the year. We'll start with the AFC and the Broncos and Jaguars. I think this matchup will go very similar to how the first matchup went. I don't think the Jaguars will easily dominate the Broncos like they did last time. I think the Broncos were a little bit blindsided by it. I think the Broncos will play a little bit tougher this time around, but I think the Jaguars are just the better team. So I think they end up winning this matchup despite having to go on the road into Denver. And our other matchup, a great divisional matchup. And I think this could be an instant classic of a game for a conference championship. This could be one of the best games we've seen all playoffs between two high-powered teams that are good on both sides of the ball. It's tough, but I'm a favor of the Seahawks here. I think that home field advantage is going to be huge for them, especially in a playoff atmosphere. I think it's going to be an excellent, very close game that likely goes down to the final drive, and I think the Seahawks make the play to win that game. And now we have the Seahawks versus the Jaguars in Santa Clara. Probably one of the better matchups you could hope for in the Super Bowl. Both teams are great on both sides of the ball. This matchup could go either way, and these two teams have met earlier on in the season. Seattle controlled the line of scrimmage there, but I think the Jaguars are a different team than what was there middle of the season, and I think they win their first Super Bowl in franchise history. Anyways, let me know what you guys think of these picks. Let me know in the comment section below what your picks are for the Super Bowl. And anyways, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.